Dear students, in this video, we are going to discuss about angular momentum. Let us discuss about the relation between angular momentum and moment of inertia. See, we know that moment of inertia is the rotational analog of mass, which means the role that mass plays in linear motion, the same role is played by moment of inertia in rotational motion. So suppose there's some body, okay, which is rotating, right? This is the axis of rotation and these are the masses m1, m2, m3, so on up to mn. And these are the distances from the axis of rotation r1, r2, r3, so on up to rn. Since the body is rotating with an angular velocity omega, so there will be linear velocities also. So the linear displacements and the velocities that the particles will be having will be v1 is equal to r1 omega, v2 is equal to r2 omega. Can you see that omega is kept constant for all the particles? Because the body as a whole is rotating with an angular velocity omega. v3 is equal to r3 omega, so and so on, right? We know that angular momentum is actually linear momentum multiplied by the distance from the axis of rotation. Same way, torque is equal to F into R, right? Torque is the rotational analog of force and it is F into R. Same way, angular momentum is P into R, right? So this is linear analog of torque and this is linear analog of angular momentum. So after that, once you do it, what is, see, this is something we are calculating for the first particle, P1 cross R1. So P1 is linear momentum for first particle. What will be its value? Its value will be M1 V1. So the value of P1 is M1 V1 cross R1. So M1 as it is, V1 has a value R1 omega and cross R1 as it is, this will be M1 R1 square omega, right? And if you find out the total angular momentum of all the particles in together, so this was for the first particle. Similarly for the second particle, it will be m2 r2 square omega. Just do it for n particles, right? And afterwards take omega common and you will be left with this quantity, and this quantity is nothing but moment of inertia as I had explained in the previous videos. So m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus m3 r3 square, so on up to mn rn square is nothing but moment of inertia. So instead of this, substitute I, right? So what are we observing? That angular momentum is equal to I omega. Can you see that this relation is completely analogous to this relation? Linear momentum used to be mass into velocity, and angular momentum is moment of inertia into angular velocity. In place of linear velocity, you can see angular velocity. In place of mass, you can see moment of inertia. In place of linear momentum, you can see angular momentum. So yes, this relation is completely analogous to this. Analogous means this relation plays the same role in rotational motion as it is played by this relation in linear motion. Okay, so after that, if you want to write it in a vector form, then L is written as L vector and omega is written as omega vector. Next is, we are going to find out the relation between torque and angular momentum. See, we have seen that angular momentum is written as I omega, where I is moment of inertia, omega is angular velocity. When you take the derivative of this relation, it becomes dl by dt equals to I as it is and d omega by dt. I is moment of inertia and it is kept constant. So this is d omega by dt. So dl by dt, you know that when we take the derivative of linear velocity, we get linear acceleration. Same way, if we do the derivative of angular velocity omega, we get angular acceleration called alpha. So this is dl by dt is equal to I alpha, and I alpha is equal to torque. Just like force is equal to mass into acceleration, torque is equal to moment of inertia into angular acceleration, right? So I alpha is equal to tau. So if you put tau here, and this relation will become tau is equal to dl by dt. Okay, so this is the relationship between torque and angular momentum, and the relationship is torque is equal to the derivative of angular momentum with respect to time. After that, we are going to read a very important law, principle of conservation of angular momentum. What does it say? See, we have studied principle of conservation of linear momentum. In that, we had studied that if there is no force acting on a body, if there's some object, there's some body, there's some system, and there is no external force acting on that system, then F external is written as 0, right? But F external is equal to dp by dt as per Newton's second law. That is, it's the derivative of linear momentum with respect to time, and dp by dt is equal to 0 and p is equal to constant. Okay, so that way we say that linear momentum is conserved when no external force is acting. But right now we are not studying linear motion, we are studying rotational motion, and we have to see that the law will become principle of conservation of angular momentum. So this law states that when there is no external torque which is acting on the system, then tau external can be written as 0, but we know that tau is equal to dl by dt, right? It's the derivative of angular momentum. So if tau is equal to 0, so dl by dt, which is the derivative of angular momentum, that will also be equal to 0. Okay, so d by dt means change with respect to time. This means angular momentum is not changing with respect to time. So if this is 0, right? So this means L total is conserved. This is not changing with respect to time, so it is conserved. So this is a very, very important application, that in rotational motion, when there is no torque acting on the system, then the angular momentum of the body remains pretty much conserved. Now let us study the applications of principle of conservation of angular momentum, which are very, very important. So application number 1. Application number 1 says that whenever the planet comes closer to sun, then its angular velocity increases. Basically, the planet revolves around the sun not in a circular orbit but in an elliptical orbit, which is an experimentally observed fact. Okay, this is sun, right, which is present at the focus, and this is the orbit of the planet, right, and this is the position of the planet. So planet revolves around the sun in an elliptical orbit, always remember that, and not in a circular orbit. So what the point is, the question that can be asked from you is, why does the angular velocity of the planet increases when it comes very closer to sun? So let's have a look why this happens. See, sun and the planet are comprising a system, and this is a system which is bound to each other. Like this system has two bodies which are bound to each other by gravitational forces, which are purely internal forces. And in this rotational motion, there is no external torque which is acting on this whole system. There is nothing which is the external agency which is aiding this whole system of sun and a planet, right? So there is no external torque which is acting on the system. So it is better to write tau is equal to 0. So when the planet comes closer to sun, why does it angular velocity? Its angular velocity increases because when tau is equal to 0, dl by dt is equal to 0. But d by dt means change in angular momentum. So if change in angular momentum is equal to 0, this means angular momentum is not changing. So this means angular momentum is constant. Okay. So this means I omega is constant because angular momentum is I into omega. So the product is constant. Like it could be 5 into 4 is equal to 20, or it could be 10 into 2 is 20, but the product is constant. The individual values may change. So if the product of I and omega is constant, this means the individual values might vary, but the product always has to remain constant. Now when the planet is coming closer to sun, it is coming closer to sun, don't you think that sun is the axis of rotation kind of a thing? Because the planet is revolving around this, right? So its distance from the sun decreases. When the planet comes closer, its distance from the sun decreases. But I, moment of inertia, is equal to mr square. If you remember, I told you that it is m1 r1 square, m2 r2 square, plus so on up to mn rn square. So, which is summarized to mr square, right? So, if moment of inertia is mr square, okay, so if r is decreasing because the planet has come closer to the sun, so the distance r is decreasing. So moment of inertia will also decrease. But moment of inertia अगर बहुत decrease हो गया है तो ओमेगा को increase होना पड़ेगा so that कि ये product constant रहे. तो automatically omega increase हो जाता है so that this product remains constant, because this is what is law of conservation of angular momentum. Okay, because the angular momentum is constant, which means I omega is constant. I omega is nothing but angular momentum only, na? So if I decreases, omega has to increase accordingly. That is why जैसे ही planet sun के थोड़ा closer आता है, automatically it speeds up. Automatically it starts moving with a good angular velocity. It starts moving rapidly, right? So this was the first application. Second application is of a ballet dancer, a circus acrobat. You'll be very surprised to know that the ballet dancers actually widespread their legs when they want to move, they want to rotate slowly, and when they want to perform the feats which are requiring higher velocity, they just curl up their body. So again the same thing. So every dancer stretches her body when she wants to rotate slowly, and she just curls up her body when she wants to rotate rapidly. Kyun? Because when you are stretching your legs and you are just stretching your body, then what is going to happen? You are increasing the distance of your legs from the axis of rotation, which means you are increasing R, which means you are increasing I. But if I increases, omega has to decrease. to keep the product constant, because there is no external torque which is acting on the system. So angular momentum has to remain constant. If angular momentum is constant, the product I omega is constant. But if you are stretching your legs, you are increasing R, you are increasing I, so omega will automatically decrease to keep this product constant. I repeat. But when you curl up your body, right? So when you curl up your body, then what is happening? You are, rotating very rapidly. Reason being, when you curl up your body, you are decreasing R. When you are decreasing R, you are decreasing moment of inertia. So omega will increase accordingly. So it's all the game of the conservation of angular momentum, right? That spinning person on the rotating platform, I think you must have seen that rotating platform. If a person is carrying 2 dumbbells, when he stretches his arms with the 2 dumbbells, then the rotating platform starts rotating slowly. When he brings them closer, the rotating platform automatically starts rotating rapidly. So this is also the application of principle of conservation of linear angular momentum. So after that, now the very important application, why a cat is able to land so smoothly even after jumping from a good height. Like you all must have seen that the cat jumps from a good height, but nothing happens to her. Why is that so? Why she is so gently able to land on her feet despite of jumping from a good height? I think cat knows physics very well. Basically what happens when the cat is just about to land on the earth, she stretches her body, her tail, her entire body. This is cat, this is her tail. This tail is very, very stretched. This is in such a relaxed position, no? This is not curled up. Her body is not curled up. In fact, it is stretched to increase its length. So when this happens, R increases, moment of inertia increases, and angular velocity generally decreases. When a cat falls from a height, her motion is this parabolic path, which is an arc. It's a kind of an arc of a circle. So it's a kind of a circular motion. When she's just about to land, she just stretches her body so that she lands safely. Actually, when she does that, R increases, moment of inertia increases, and omega eventually decreases. Now the task is to look for another applications of principle of conservation of angular momentum. I'll tell you, I have told you that the angular velocity of a planet increases when it comes closer to the sun. This is the first application. Next application is of a circus acrobat who is able to perform various circus feats. Why he is able to do that? This is the second application. Third application is of a ballet dancer. Why she stretches her body and sometimes she curls up that body. So this is the third application. Now your task is to look for all these explanations, right, for all these examples and illustrations, and then to look for the explanation which is related to that. After that, you have a rotating platform application. After that, tornadoes in inner layers have a very high velocity. If something is stuck in the inner layer of tornado, that will experience such a high velocity. But why? Okay, next question. Why helicopters are at least provided with 2 propellers? Okay, not 1. Next is springboard diver. Next is the application of a cat. Next, spacecraft orientation. So all these examples are in syllabus. Just try to find your explanation, what is happening and why is happening. So basically, I'll tell you the central explanation that things are moving to conserve the law of principle of conservation of angular momentum. That angular momentum remains conserved till the time when no torque is acting on the system. Right? Thank you.